So in this video, we're going to be reviewing the Superpower blood work platform. I'm going to tell you about my experience using it and if I think it's right for you. We're going to cover three main things in this video: what you get, how it works, and if I think it's better than Function Health. So first and foremost, let's talk about what you get. You get 100 biomarkers. You get access to concierge health from MDs and naturopaths and functional and diagnostic nutritionists who all understand holistic health. You get access to their AI, which has all your health history and previous data. And you get access to their marketplace, which has discounts on supplements and certain prescription drugs. And if you want to do deeper testing, you can buy those there as well. So basically how it works is you create an account, you fill out a bunch of information around your health history, your family history, and what your current goals are. Then you order blood work, and then you go to Quest or LabCorp, or they also have a little upsell option where you can have someone be sent to your house to draw your blood from the comfort of your own home. Usually you're going to get your results back in 2 to 5 business days. Once you get the results back, you'll be notified and then you can log into the platform. Once you log into the platform, you'll get a very detailed report on what's going on and what your next steps are so that you can improve whatever biomarkers might be out of range. In addition to that, you can also upload old data or old lab reports of any kind, and you can add them to your file as well. Okay, so the first things first that you're going to see on the left-hand side, you're going to see Kyle's digital twin. If you click on this, it's going to take you to the data page, but let's go back right here. Up top, you're going to see the Superpower Blood Panel Action Plan. So this is going to be your report that tells you exactly what to do, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Below that, you have the Superpower score, which is essentially like your rating. How are you doing? And I got an 86 out of 100, so I'm doing okay. I am definitely working on some things right now. I'm right in the middle of a mold/SIRS protocol, so my immune system is a little shot, but we'll talk about that later as well. Then over here, you have a biological age. So mine is 23.8, which is 8.6 years younger than my calendar age, which is cool. This biological age is not based on telomere length, like most biological ages are, but this is based on all of my data, cardiovascular, metabolic, methylation, all this stuff. They have like some type of algorithm that calculates this age based on your blood work results. You can also review family health insights from your intake. This is very interesting. So obviously you share your family history in the intake. And so there's stuff that they're going to inform you about as you get more and more results back, maybe more tests to do or things to be thinking about dietary wise or lifestyle wise based on what's happened in your family. So then you have your key insights, right? So it's always going to show stuff that is the top priority first, and then the stuff that is medium priority, and then the stuff that's in range. That's kind of the sequence. And you can individually click on each one of these, and we'll do that in just a sec. If we go to data, this is basically going to show you the same stuff that you would see in the home section if you just were to click on any one of these, but you're going to see it all in one place. What's cool about this is it breaks down what this number is, why is it important, and why it might be out of range based on the information that you fill out. What can you do from a lifestyle perspective to fix this number? And what can you do nutritionally to fix this number? And then what supplements can you take? And they have links right here to all the sources of these recommendations. Then if you wanted to, you can also ask the AI, which we're not going to do in this moment, but we can ask the AI like, hey, what should I do about this? Now, what you'll see also here, which is fascinating to me, is that it actually pulled data from previous blood reports all the way back to 2023 that I ran at LabCorp, and then 2024 LabCorp, 2 times in 2025, and then now this is the most recent time. I find this really, really interesting that it could just automatically pull my data from these previous draws. I didn't upload all of this. So this is so cool that they have this integrated into the platform and it just happens automatically. This kind of blew me away. So you have everything mapped out here. This is the whole body right here. And then you have heart and vascular system. So it just isolates that one particular system, and they do that for all of these different systems. In this case, you have DNA and gut and toxin. So that's also some categories that they're taking into account, which is great. So that's what this looks like. You can search right here if you want to. This is also the records. So this is where you can upload any files from previous testing that you may or may not have done and just upload it right here. That way the AI can pull from that data and the doctors who are on the platform and the concierge can also pull from that data as well to help give you the best recommendations. Then on the protocol tab, on the left-hand side, you're going to see products, right? And this is either going to be supplements or medicine based on the results and all the things that you filled out. And then over here, there's highest priority, medium priority, and lowest priority. So as you see, my white blood cells need some support. This is because I'm on this SIRS protocol, which can be very taxing on the immune system. Next would be my cholesterol. I eat a lower carbohydrate diet, higher fat. So this is probably why this is high. And I know that because it's told me that. And that makes a lot of sense based on all the information that I gave it. So I'm actually not concerned about these numbers in this moment. It makes sense that it might be a little bit higher. And you can also, find out more about this information through talking to the doctors or the AI if you wanted to. If we move on to the concierge, you have two tabs right here. You have the Ask the AI. So you can just have a conversation about anything going on with your health. It's like, right now I am choosing to be on a lower carb diet for my protocol and blood sugar stability, but would like to improve my cholesterol. What do you recommend? So you just punch that in and you wait a few minutes, it's thinking, and then here you go. Breaks down my cholesterol and my triglycerides and what you can consider while staying lower carb. These suggestions are compatible with blood sugar stability. So now it's saying, increase soluble fiber, even on low carb, psyllium husk, chia, ground seed, cooked vegetables, great. You can shift your fat sources, emphasize on monounsaturated fats like olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia nut, pasteurized eggs, add in omega-3s. I actually did, kind of as a byproduct of getting this test done. This is amazing. Really, really cool. And I wouldn't say this is perfect, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's shift from the AI and go to the concierge. So the thing about the concierge is you could ask them a question like, what can I do to improve my free test? I'm not going to send this, but if I wanted to, I could. What it's going to do is actually going to send you a pop-up message that says, hey, all the concierge is actually done through text messages. So we received your message. You'll get a message back in, somewhere within 24 hours. And then you'll get a text from the doctor or from the dietitian or the nutritionist or whoever is responding to you. Will happen through a text message, which has its pros and cons, and we'll talk about that later as well. In the marketplace, this is where you get access to more tests. So if you want to do deeper testing, for example, if you wanted to test your gut, or you wanted to do some environmental toxin testing or mycotoxin, then you can buy more panels right here. Right below that, you're going to see supplement recommendations. All of these are designed and tailored specifically for your needs. And the cool part about the marketplace is that you do get 20% off the supplements, which is nice. I don't know about you, but I spend a fortune on supplements. And so it's always great to save some money. And then down below, you have some prescriptions. I don't love the prescription thing because I actually don't know anything about any of these and how they're relevant to me. The semaglutide, like GLP-1, is not relevant to me whatsoever. And I would really like if they remove that. So I want to tell you about my experience now that I've gone through the whole process and give you my real honest thoughts. It's a very streamlined process from purchase to getting the blood results back and getting my report. I felt that the entire process was extremely streamlined. It was so simple. I just paid, I scheduled my blood draw, and every step of the way, the concierge is texting me, giving me reminders of like, hey, your blood draw is coming up. Don't forget to fast the night before. And you get all these little touch points along the way that I felt was a very, very nice touch. As I mentioned before, the thing that completely blew me away was the fact that they pulled these previous blood results from these other labs, that I didn't upload any data on my own. This just happened in the platform without me even realizing it until I opened up the portal and actually got in and saw the report. I think this is so cool because this way you can see the progression over time and you can know if what you're doing is working or not working, or if you're having an issue that seems to be chronic year over year, maybe it's time to do some deeper testing. Once I got all my data back and I got it in the platform, everything was super clear in the report. It was basically like, hey, here's why your numbers are either low or high based on the information that you gave us and what's going on with your health. Then they gave me very clear and targeted recommendations that are specific to me, whether it's through lifestyle, nutrition, or supplementation. I think AI medicine is absolutely going to change the game, and I am obsessed with the idea of being able to work with the AI and a doctor simultaneously to really understand the full picture of what's going on and to create the best plan possible. With that being said, as I mentioned before, the AI is still in beta, very much so. And when I was asking it certain questions in respect to the platform, it did have some hallucinations and told me that things were in certain places when really they weren't there. There was a little bit of confusion there, but all the questions that I've asked about health seems like very straightforward and knows what it's talking about. And they say this too, don't just make decisions based on the data you get from the AI. So I would always take that back to your doctor or take that back to the concierge doctors inside of the platform and make sure that you're getting the right information and you're building the best plan for you. As far as the concierge goes, it's like pros and cons to taking people off the platform into text message. It's nice because it's on your phone and it's kind of just like instant access wherever you are, and you don't have to be logged into their thing in order to receive the information that you wanted to get in order to, probably take the next step with your health. I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of having the chat in the platform. You should get a message on your phone, and then you also should be able to see the chat inside of the platform itself. So the price of Superpower is marketed at $17 a month, comes out to $199 a year, and it's billed annually. So it is a subscription just like Function Health. And the idea is that you use this as a place to store all your health information and you continue to do regular checkups. The frequency at which you want to do that is totally up to you. But if you do want to try Superpower, I do have a affiliate link down below, and they gave me a code Wellness Daddy, which will bring the cost down to $179 instead of $199. And as a gentle reminder, we do no paid reviews. We do make some money from this affiliate stuff, and that's what allows us to keep making content like this. So if you're finding value in this video, then please consider using our links and our codes, because we also do not recommend products that we don't feel good recommending to our moms. So the first thing is, in the marketplace, I really don't like how the first drug that they recommend is semaglutide, GLP-1, because I don't have metabolic issues like that. I'm not overweight. So it just feels insincere, feels like blanket, feels like generic, like everything else is tailored and this isn't. I also am not a huge fan of semaglutide, and that's just my personal opinion. But even though I know the world and America struggles with metabolic health and weight, I just feel like for a platform that is so focused on holistic care, that this just feels off-brand to me. And yes, I get there's benefits and some people really need it and there's a lot of stigma around it and stuff like that, but I just feel very strongly, my personal opinion is that it doesn't match the brand. That's what I think, number one. Number two is I don't even know if these prescriptions are actually relevant to me. It also seems like homogenous versus the other stuff is tailored specifically to me. So I feel like that's a big miss that they get to improve for sure. The next thing I'm going to mention is if you go to the data tab, for me specifically, I don't know how this is for other people, but there's a few bugs. Like right here, you'll see in DNA health, it's just like grayed out. But even though I have some numbers, and I would say the same thing for the immune system as well, is also grayed out, even though I have a bunch of numbers here. I feel like there should be a representation, just like on the other ones, is like that's where the status of the system is, or that organ. And so I don't know if that's functioning right. The next thing that I'll mention is with the AI, there were, like I mentioned before, some of those bugs where it's kind of like hallucinated or just like said the wrong thing. And then there was an issue with my concierge doctor where I would type it in and I pressed like send and it didn't send. I contacted the team, they fixed it immediately. So the team is very on top of fixing problems, but keep in mind this is a startup growing quite quickly. And so I'm assuming there's probably going to be some bugs that they're just still trying to fix and figure out, but you can only do that as you scale. And I'm also going to give them some grace because I know the AI is in its beta mode, so I won't ding them too much on that. And then the other thing I would do is I would have, it would be nice to have like a page with like a timeline of like 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. And here's what you do for the first 30 days. Here's what you do for the first 90 days. And here's what you do for the first 6 months, and then prompt me to retest. This would be great, like retention and upsell stuff. However, I will say that if I went into the concierge and I go to the AI and I just said, build me a 30-day, 90-day, and 6-month plan to correct all the things you found. So you could use the AI technically. It would be nice if they just put this in your report and they had like a timeline and they had like certain things that they layered. If you're not like me and it's not your job to basically test your health and like tweak and optimize and do all these things, this can feel very overwhelming. And so if they gave like a very sort of streamlined, like gradual habit stacking sort of coaching action plan integrated into the report that they give you, I feel like that would be super helpful. And then whoever the customer is, or you or me, we can just hit up our doctor and be like, hey, I started XYZ. This is how I'm feeling. What do you think I should do next? This is going well. This isn't going well. And it can kind of be like this ongoing, like actual action, not just let me buy some supplements to like push things this way and that way, because ultimately like some of these things are happening as a byproduct of bigger sort of life things. Now I want to talk about how this is different than Function Health, which is a similar company that does blood work. And I'm going to talk to you about the main differences that I see. So the first thing is going to be the concierge health, where you can actually ask your care team complex questions about your specific situation. As far as I know, Function does not have anything of this nature. And so you kind of just get your blood work and then you get your action plan, just like they have in Superpower. That's very similar, but you don't have anyone there necessarily to support you. But you do have an AI inside of Function as well. It's just the differentiator is the actual human. The next thing that separates Superpower from Function is when you go to buy testing, you get this option of let us come to you. A licensed nurse will meet you at your home, work, or wherever you are to perform your blood draw. And you pay an extra $119 for that. But that's the cost of, getting the convenience of having someone come to wherever you are. Whereas with Function, you do have to go to the lab. One of the other key differentiators between Superpower and Function is this marketplace. So Function doesn't have any kind of marketplace. You get the discounted testing, discounted supplements, and potentially discounted medicine as well. The other thing that Superpower does that I don't think Function does either is Superpower did pull all of that blood work automatically. I have no idea how they did this, but it just happened. It's like one of those things that it's delighting the customer. I could have gone in, ordered my labs again from my doctor, and got the reports and then uploaded them independently. But this is just a step above, a step beyond just giving me the opportunity to upload. They just did it for me, which is really, really cool. Also, one of the main differences between Function and Superpower is the pricing model. So Superpower is $199 per year, $179 with code WellnessDaddy, and Function is $499, but they give you 2 tests, right? So this sneaky thing that Function did that I'm not hating on them, it's just how it works, is that the first test you get 100 biomarkers for $499. And then you get a follow-up test. The follow-up test is only 60 biomarkers though, which is kind of a bummer. The full retest to get the 100 biomarkers that you got the first time is $358. Whereas with Superpower, it's at same $179, which is nice for the same thing that you just bought. I still think Function is a great platform and I love what they're doing. They're making blood work so much more accessible to everyone. And I also love Superpower. I think they're both great companies. Function also has so much funding and infrastructure and distribution. And so I'll be super interested to see how they continue to develop their product. And I plan on doing a full review of them in the coming future. So make sure to subscribe so you can see it when it comes out. As far as Superpower goes, they're a much smaller organization. They're still ramping things up, but they're also innovating with the concierge stuff and being able to send people to your home to do the blood work. And everything for me felt super intuitive and it was super clear. And I also am a big fan. And I want to tell you a quick story about someone in my family. I really encouraged someone close to me to get some testing done by Function because they were doing a lot of marketing and I was seeing them come up all over the place. And I was like, okay, my loved one really needs to get a deeper dive on their health. And Superpower had not launched yet. So I pushed them to go get some blood work done. And we actually found out that this person actually had Hashimoto's and it was undiagnosed, which is an autoimmune condition of the thyroid. And we think that he has had this condition for could be 20, 30 years, but it was just never tested for. And that's why it's so important to do deeper testing frequently, at least once or twice a year. Problem that he ran into though, and that I observed, is that once he got his results back, yes, he got his report from the clinician through Function, but he wasn't able to speak with anyone to help him understand what's really going on with his situation. And so he was kind of left now having to take all that information back to the traditional allopathic medicine sort of world. And he brought his blood work to his doctor, his primary care, and his doctor didn't even know how to interpret some of the data because they don't run these types of tests. Isn't that crazy? But the point remains, which is like, I feel like it's kind of hard for someone who's not super sophisticated in health to know what to do with the data once they get it, even with the clinician notes and the suggestions and the recommendations. I don't know how it feels anymore because this is my job, but I know that it's overwhelming for other people because there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of big words, and it can feel really confusing. Looking back, I really wish I would have been able to give this person superpower so that they would have had access to these doctors that could help him understand what was really going on and what to do next. And I want to tell you one more story about why I'm such a believer in superpower. And that's because of the founder, or at least one of the founders. His name is Jacob Peters. And I met Jacob in LA 2 years ago when I went and shot a video with Brian Johnson. And we ended up getting lunch and we really hit it off because we shared a similar story. I personally got very sick from COVID and it completely turned my life upside down. And I really thought that I might actually die because of the complications that came as a byproduct of getting sick, including autoimmune stuff and long COVID and a bunch of other stuff that was really intense. Jacob, however, did not get COVID, but he did get the jab. And after getting the jab, he had to go to the hospital very shortly after because he was having a heart attack. Jacob was 27 years old at the time, and the cytokine storm got really out of control and things escalated, and his immune system started to attack his intestines and his colon. And he quickly developed 2 autoimmune conditions, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's. The situation continued to get worse and they couldn't really get it under control. And so the doctors at the hospital actually removed a piece of his intestines and maybe part of his colon too. I'm not exactly sure, but they actually had to put in a poop bag and then they slapped him with a $2 million hospital bill. Of course, because he was an entrepreneur, he didn't have very good insurance or no insurance. So he was kind of left holding the bag. As you can imagine, this whole situation completely turned his life upside down too. And he swore that because of what happened, he was going to fix what is broken in the medical system. I love what Jacob is doing. I love what Superpower is doing. And I also love what Function is doing. They're both spreading the gospel of health and wellness, helping people understand what's going inside of their body. And I think one of the things that I reflect on after spending over $250,000 on my own personal health is that if there was one thing that I wish I did more of in my journey, it would have been testing. I wish I would have done so much more testing earlier on and spent the money. And I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on testing. And I am so happy that I do the testing that I do because it really helped me understand what was going on. And now I have a clear plan and protocol that I'm working. If you don't test, then you're basically just guessing. So use the data to make informed decisions and move you in the direction that is going to get you to the healthiest version of yourself. Let's talk about the Wellness Daddy score. As far as effectiveness goes, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's extremely effective in terms of the thing that you're paying for, the thing that you're getting, and everything that it gives you. I think they really deliver on their promise. Service, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. They go above and beyond with all these little touch points throughout the entire process, and you get access to the concierge health, which is pretty crazy for $17 a month. It kind of is blowing my mind, actually, the value proposition that they've created for just general consumers. Price, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is insane value. $179 for 100 biomarkers. This used to cost hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, just a few years ago. And there are other blood work companies out there that charge thousands of dollars for the same data. As far as my experience goes, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It was really good. It just got a few little bugs to work out, also get rid of that GLP-1 thing in the marketplace and make sure everything is tailored so that it's congruent all the way through. But as far as the main things, the things that are actually important, they hit it out of the park. And then the last but not least is the daddy factor, which to me is like, is this the best of the best? And I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's definitely up there with the best of the best. Again, just a few small tweaks, and this is the early stages. So depending on when you see this video, they may have already changed a bunch of stuff. They're in full startup mode, so hyper growth. You can expect them to continue to make this way better, and it's already great. So that leaves us with a total Wellness Daddy score of 46 out of 50, which is huge. That is awesome. I love this product for so many reasons. Most importantly, that they just made blood work so much more accessible and affordable to the masses. And they made the process so easy that you can get your blood done from the comfort of your own home. The crazy part is most doctors will never run any of these tests, or they'll give you a really hard time about it. And now all you have to do is click a button and you can get all of it. So instead of trying random trends or looking at random recommendations, you are actually getting tailor fit recommendations specifically to your needs based on your data. This is the future of personalized health. It's preventative, it's proactive, and it's affordable. Superpower is definitely Wellness Daddy certified, and I would feel really good recommending it to my mom. So if you want to get your own bloods done, I'll leave the link down in the description and the first comment, or you can just use code Wellness Daddy, save yourself some money, and figure out what's going on with your health. And if you like this video, I know you're going to like this video right here, so go watch that video right now, and I'll see you in that next video. Take care and be well.